Good morning, Twin Flames. Happy Monday. It's May 7th, and we are going into our second week of the month, and I am so happy to be here. My name is Pam, and this is God Conscious Twin Flame 1111. I am grateful to be able to provide these daily readings to you, and I am going to just go right into it because there's a lot of negative going on, and it seems to me that you are being tested by the universe, by God, by the angels, to see how you handle this. I sense that the Twin Flame Collective is going through a major shift as these cards unfolded, but this is just a test of the emergency universe system. Please hang in there. It'll be okay. So we are starting, it's either in the work position, but you have again the Seven of Swords, which is deception, things not going as anticipated. It's encouraging that you use diplomacy as opposed to heavy-handed methods or reactions, in another word. Don't react to the situation. Just kind of breathe your way through it. Breathe your way through it. I've got the sense that this is for twin flame unions and reunions, that there's a bit of a stalemate situation, that there are decisions that have to be made. A lot of you are looking to walk away. I'm sensing you feeling deceived. I'm sensing that maybe you're even feeling deceived by the divine. What's the point of this? He lied again. I can't do this. She lied again. I can't do this. And you do have choices to make in your home position. But it's saying to look at the situation in a practical manner and to not overreact. We talk a lot, at least I know I do. I talk a lot about the internal swings and the emotional swings, and not letting the imagination get away with you, not letting it create these stories and illusions that would create fear, because that's what this is. This is a battle between love and fear, and which one am I going to side with? And a lot of us on this journey have had to really, really strengthen truths of love within us. That means that when the fear arises, that we present it in prayer, we journal about it, we seek out some guidance. Last week it said seek out wise guidance, because we're not emotionally in the midst of it anymore. Some of us that have been through this journey are not in the midst of the chaos and confusion anymore. That's why we're out here doing what we're doing, to create more harmony within a big community of people that are now embarking on this journey, that are finding their life turned upside down and not sure where to go. This is a mass spiritual experience, a mass spiritual awakening, and it is a very beautiful journey that just kind of shakes up the belief systems that we were raised on, that have that no longer serve our greater good. And that's the important part of this journey, is that what we believed in traditional systems, government systems, maybe religious systems, and even in the relational systems, if somebody talks, let's just use this as a parent to a child as an example. Well, they disrespected me and I have to put my foot down. There's another way. We do not have to put our foot down when somebody disrespects us. We can teach them that in the form of disrespect, it really causes them more trouble. If they can't talk to you in a civilized way, then it makes them look bad. You look at a parent in a grocery store with their kid screaming, carry on, and maybe just hitting the mother because there's lack of boundaries. The parent didn't set certain boundaries. And even in setting the boundaries, they may have been heavy-handed as opposed to appropriate for the situation at hand. That paradigm has to go. Some of us were raised in that. I'm going to give you something to cry about, or taking out the belt or the wooden spoon. Those heavy-handed tactics in parenting don't work anymore. Sitting down and having a discussion with our kids after they have managed to cause an affront, if you will. You know, maybe they stayed out past curfew, and you've told them not to stay out past curfew, and then you punish them for a month. Well, that's a little bit excessive in some instances to punish them for a month for staying out past curfew. Maybe there's another way to look at it. Maybe you take the cell phone for 24 hours, or maybe you take the computer game for 24 hours, because it's in the moment of, you know what, you can't do this. I'm taking the phone. I'm sorry you can't talk to your friends. If there's anything important, schoolwork or, commitments, then we can deal with that. But you're going to deal with that right in front of me, with the phone in front of me, and then I'm taking the phone back. There are other ways to handle it. And with your twin flame as well, I know I've said that's it, that's the end, that's the end, that's the end, but I'm not in charge of this. You're not in charge of this. The divine is. And it's teaching you something. All these cards today are telling me that you're having an extreme emotional situation being brought to life for you to make a decision on. Now, any decision you make is a good decision because you're going to learn something from it. They're telling me that you're struggling with making a decision. The Tower is in your position, so this is coming from you. Your foundations need to be crumbled. Your foundations need to be shattered. And the moon has cast that out and made that available to you. So the moons do create, the moons create illusions. And but it also cautions you to not jump to conclusions, not to create stories in your head, not to let your imagination run wild. There is another way to see it. So here there's a deadlock, a stalemate so the moon is the unexpected, though, for some of you it's not totally unexpected. I'm imagining that something happened this weekend that's caused this. Two of Swords. You feel like you're at a stalemate, that you can't make a decision. This is in your outcome position, but there is a decision to make. Maybe you need to have a reading done specifically for your situation. Maybe you have a wise counsel around you to talk with about the situation. I want to guide you towards people that are going to have you look within you. What's causing you to think that? What's causing you to feel that? Is that an old wound coming up for healing? The Tower in your position. Anything built on illusion must come to an end. Sudden, unexpected ending. But maybe it's not so sudden. False beliefs collapsing. Maybe you believed he was going to propose to you this weekend and he didn't, and you're just completely shattered. Maybe he's talked about, or she's talked about marriage and they said no. But no is in the moment. Any decision can be in the moment. You got to let the divine intervene and do their job. The divine beings intervene and heal the situation that's going on. You're not going to get what you want immediately, but it will come. We just got to open our mind to potential opportunities that we're just not capable of seeing because we're emotionally charged by the situation. This is telling me that there is emotions involved. You have the Seven of Cups. Look at it in a practical manner. Don't create an unrealistic picture of the situation. Maybe, you guys just started connecting and you're already running forward to when you're going to get married, but the card said, and maybe, he doesn't want to hear about, because you have at the bottom of the deck the Seven of Wands. And you also have the Ten of Wands. You're carrying all this by yourself. You feel like you're carrying all this by yourself. And to a small extent, you are carrying this by yourself. You're carrying the responsibility of you, period, end of subject. You can't put that off on anybody anymore. You have to get responsible for your thoughts, your actions, your belief systems, your attitudes, your behaviors, everything that's going on within you, you have to take control of now. That's what this is saying, now. So yes, it feels like a heavy burden. Yes, you know, your belief systems are being challenged. Your everything is coming up for evaluation. It's kind of like doing an inventory in your store and taking a look at what's selling and what's not selling. Same thing within us. Is my pride working? Is my strength working? Is my strength my weakness right now? Do I need to surrender some strength and really say I need help? Take that inventory from within and take a look at it. Something felt like it's been stolen from you, which I understand reading all of this. It does feel that way. It does feel like something is being stolen, like you're being robbed. There might be an element of deceit around you, or around your twin flame that you're sensing. But until you get yourself into a place of center, you're not going to be able to tell what's yours and what's his, or what's yours and what's the person next to you, because we are highly sensitive beings. We are many of us are empaths. I encourage you to look up the definition of an empath, because as empaths, we feel everything so deeply. You want to start to cut cords. You want to start to get grounded. You want to start to say, okay, is this mine? Ask the question, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And then wait. Because sometimes it's not just your energy. Sometimes you need to clear. You would benefit from maybe an energy clear. Slow down, Pam. Thank you, angels. You would benefit from an energy clearing, a chakra clearing, a meditation. Today, when I was preparing for this and in my meditation, I found by Zen Life Relax. It's a deep relaxation, enhance self-love and inner peace. So they were guiding me before I even started this reading to let me know that there is stuff going on. The Seven of Wands and the Ten of Wands. There are creative solutions that if you just let your emotions, don't let your emotions run it, you can come up with, which means that you don't have to do anything in the moment. And being sometimes in the moment for us is uncomfortable, and I'm challenging you today to be in that. I'm not challenging you. Let me rephrase that. The universe is challenging you to be in that state. Because you have decisions to make, even no decision is a decision. See what results from that, if that's where you're guided. So if you're in meditation and they guide you don't do anything, then that's a decision. I'm going to decide to listen to my angels and guides and don't do anything. If the decision is to reach out by text, and let's say that came from your ego self and not from your spirit self, you will know. It's okay. You may feel a deep rejection. You might even feel a deep abandonment. Feel it. It's going to be a wave. It's going to come. It's going to go. Don't cast on, oh, if this isn't true, this is false, I'm giving up on this journey, all these people are crazy, I don't know how they do it. This is your lesson, dear one. This is your lesson. The Two of Swords, where we feel like we don't have choices, but we really do. And the choice is to feel it or to run. There's the two swords crossing each other. An 11 crossing. So the decision is to feel it or to run. Feel it or to run. Engage or disengage. Those are choices. But this is, the moon is stirring up the emotions, or has stirred up the emotions. Maybe you listened to a few videos and they all sounded so positive and wonderful, and so you put an expectation that, oh, it's going to be great and this is going to happen. But that's not where you are in the lesson. And that's not where you are. It's like trying to go from kindergarten to college. You can't skip a step, is what they're saying. You cannot skip a step in this journey. If there is anything in you that needs to be healed and needs to be resolved, they want you to heal it and resolve it. And then underneath all of this is, again, the sun will shine. The sun will shine. So Yeah, I'm going to put these out because you want to see the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Swords. You have 3 sevens in this reading, 17. 2 sevens, I'm sorry, 2 sevens in this reading. But Wands and Swords, you know, you want to cut through the illusions and get to the truth of who you are. Because he doesn't respond or she doesn't respond doesn't make you less than. Doesn't have anything to do with you. That's them. That's where you can separate. If they're not responding to you, they're not ready to respond, they're in fear. Don't feed fear with fear, feed fear with love. Because love is the only thing that's true. Love is the answer to all of this. Unconditional love. So the encouragement here is to learn how to be true to yourself. And even if being true to yourself means that you have to feel these emotions and you want to blame that other person, I'm going to encourage you to say, this is my emotion. I want to own it. I want it to heal. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I ask angels and guides to help me get through this. It just feels so overwhelming. I feel so heavy. I feel like I'm carrying everything. I feel like I'm the only one working. I feel like he doesn't care. I feel unloved. I feel, okay, that's good. That's being undone. That's being undone. False belief systems are collapsing. Yes, you feel. These are your feelings. Yes, you want them to heal. It is not his job to heal you. This is why when you come into union, you're not going to have this energy if you do your work. Because when he or she acts out, you're going to just look at it and say, all right, angels, please be with them. Archangel Michael, protect them against themselves. You can do that even now. They're in the midst of an egoic conflict, and help me to be steady while they are unsteady. I want to be peaceful regardless of what is going on around me. And whatever is mine, please help me get rid of it. Please help me to get rid of it. So I'm sorry that you guys are going through it, but I'm happy you guys are going through it. I'm grateful that to report to you that there is another side to this, that you will come out victorious. The 7 of Wands says, if you can, go through this process. You will come out victorious. You will come out on top. You can overcome obstacles. This is a strength card, so you can overcome this. This 7 of Wands can offset all of these other... I'm sorry, you did have 3 sevens. I knew I saw 3 sevens. So, you know, big changes going on. Big changes going on. Big transitions that are critical to your well-being. And if it's critical to your well-being, then it's critical to your twin's well-being. And if you can look at it from a perspective that you're really not apart, that you really can't be separated, that's an illusion, that your hearts are connected because they've been connected from the beginning of time, then you will be victorious in this for you. You have to come to this relationship whole, because otherwise you're going to get back into the relationship, and you might anyway get back into the relationship, and then there'll be another separation period so that you can go back and do this work, so that they can go back and do this work. So this work is your work. It is divinely orchestrated to get you to the next level. You know, when you're climbing a mountain and the oxygen gets real thin, you kind of have to stop. And you have to regenerate yourself. And you got to take a look at your next climb to see if it's, to see if it's doable. Take a look at your resources. Are you using your resources correctly? Are you using your angels, your guides correctly? Are you still in false belief systems? Same thing. Are you still hanging on to something that's not true? Maybe it's a traditional marriage, and you know, I started to view my twin as what God has put together, no man can tear asunder, not even him. Not me either. Nobody. There were times that I was blaming the people that he was around. There were times I was blaming his karmic. There was times that I was blaming, God, even the divine source. Like, this seemed so easy in my mind, but even my looking at it as so easy was a denial on myself to really get clear on the things that I needed to work on and the things that I needed to really regroup. My mind wants to play tricks. The ego wants to play tricks with you. The ego wants to collapse this. That's probably the only thing that thinks it can take control of this situation. And that's a lie. And that's a lie. Because the sun will come up tomorrow. The Annie song. I won't sing for you because that would be just bad publicity. The sun will come up tomorrow. Can you give us further guidance, angels, on this that would be helpful to the Twin Flame Collective that is going through this phase where they feel deceived, where they feel unloved, where they feel maybe abandoned and rejected? Can you give them some other suggestions to get through this day? I also want to apologize. I was unable to get up a daily reading yesterday. It was just one of those hectic days where I just had to go from early morning to late last night. And I've been asking the angels how they want me to handle this trip to New York, which I'll be leaving on Thursday. And I will be taking my cards with me and praying that I can do the readings while I'm on the road. Okay, so we have an angel on top. And you have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping, teaching, or parenting children. So children can sometimes help us get through difficult situations because they're just so full of joy. And then Jesus is here telling you there's nothing to worry about. You are safe, and the situation is under the perfect control of divine providence and universal order. Infuse loving thoughts, only infuse loving thoughts and emotions into the situation to ensure the highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. So that is a piece of encouragement for you as you go through this. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but for some of you, that may be what you needed to get through today. And they are telling you to listen. Quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to our gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desire's manifestation. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you. So really, you got two awesome pieces of advice for those of you that are going through this time of chaos and confusion and an absolute upheaval. This is really a great event. I encourage you to see it as a great event because the universe is really pushing you to your higher self, and this education cannot be bought in any university, cannot be bought in any book, although books can help you, and even in any reading. The reality is we must go through change, and change is painful. But change and transition and the stress associated with this help us to grow, help us to become the best self. Say to yourself over and over again, if you have to, I'd rather be better than bitter. That helps me. I'd rather be better than bitter. So if you can see your divine partner in a positive, loving light, or whoever is creating this situation in your life today, don't even look there. Don't even look there. Just look at your lesson. Just say, okay, I'm going to refocus my mind on the divinity that is being offered to me today. Yes, I feel pain. Yes, I feel uncomfortable. Yes, I feel like I have no choices. But you do. Even if the choice is to look at you. That's a choice. That's a decision. I'm going to take a look at what's going on here so that it can go away once and for all. I did not want to feel abandonment anymore. I went through a really dark night of the soul for a long time because I had learned that I had rejected myself in so many ways. And my responsibility was really to me. That my responsibility was to the little girl in me. So I would get this card a lot when I went through it. Nurture the little girl, little boy in you. I know that sounds a little corny, and the child within sometimes needs to be parented. Sometimes you need to reparent yourself. And that's a decision, to reparent yourself. And what winds up happening when we don't take the time to go through these dark nights of the soul and these spaces of indecision, and when we don't take the time to listen to the angels and their divine guidance, so their divine guidance is going to sound different than what you're familiar with. Their divine guidance is going to sound crazy because you've never done it, or maybe you thought you did it, but you did it kind of like like when you turn something over to God and you pray and say, God, I want you to take this from me, but you're holding so tightly on it, and it's like a little child giving you the toy to fix, and the little child doesn't take his hands off the toy, but you really can't fix it with their hands in the way of the broken part. That's kind of what we do with our problems and our pains. We kind of hold on to it, and we do not ever really release it. So now they're saying, truly release that pain so that we can turn it into the lesson, so that you can be stronger, so that you can be more powerful, so that you can overcome this, so that you don't, we get into the relationships for that reason, to fill a void. But you don't have a void. You don't have a void. You are perfectly created in His image. You were created in the image of Jesus and of God, and you have everything within you. But the belief systems that you took on, whether it was from your parents, your religious institution, your education, kind of bound you to, well, it's got to be this way. Open-mindedness is necessary. Open-heartedness is necessary. Open-heartedness may cause some pain. You might be crying uncontrollably. You might have taken off work because you were crying uncontrollably. Just let it come and go. Let's not focus on anything other than, I'm in pain and it's okay. You got to heal this wound. And for me, oh gosh, I don't want to go into that visual, but there was a lot of it. This pattern, it's like a seed being in the ground, and it's completely dark, and it's just kind of there. And for some seeds, it takes 7 to 10 days to germinate, and for others, it could take months to germinate. And so while you're in the ground, it's dark, it's lonely, it's cold, it's wet, or maybe it's dry, so, but it's just uncomfortable. And then one day, the little seed starts to sprout its roots and forms a new foundation. The sun shines on it, and then one day the little seedling just pops out of the earth, and it's usually like a little bent over, and then it stands up, and then it blossoms into a beautiful. But that all takes some time. It's a process for all that to happen. And the same is going on with us on this journey. The same thing. We're going through it. So my fellow twins, I'm sending you lots of love and light. If this reading resonated with you, I'm going to ask you to like and put comments. If you don't want to put a public comment, feel free to email me at godconscious1111@gmail.com. Please subscribe to the channel so you get the messages quickly. If you would like a private reading, I understand some of my links are broken down below. I'm going to try and fix that today. If not Wednesday, I have dedicated, because Thursday I'm leaving. Wednesday I've dedicated to deal with making sure that I have some things up to date in the midst of my travel. I can do private readings up until Wednesday. If you would like a private reading on this situation, I would be happy to provide that for you. Just click the link below so I can schedule that. Thank you for all those that donated to help this channel run. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. And until tomorrow, sweet, divine partners, feminines and masculines, we thank you for being a part of this journey.